Bye-bye to the end of an era. There you go. Grow it out really quick. He's a good eater. Well, that there explains a lot. Let's check out these babies. And here goes day one of redoing Scarlets' enclosure. So if you remember from my original build video, I had a custom-made water bowl sitting in here. And it was really nice. But her big heavy body, over a couple years of crawling all over it, eventually it damaged it, shipped up the sides. So the rest of these backgrounds and most of what I make is great stuff foam with dry lock on top. It's super durable. She hasn't messed up her hollow log at all, not a single chip in it. But this was styrofoam with foam coat on top. Foam coat is supposed to be like 4,000 PSI. Maybe the coat wasn't thick enough, or it just doesn't hold up over time the same. Regardless of the fact, so cutting through this stuff is like cutting through rhino liner, like the bed of a pickup. I'm gonna use a multi-tool. So, step one. Bye-bye to the end of an era. I'm gonna use my favorite tool, and the best of the best. If you're not using Diablo blades, are you really even cutting? Go with a metal blade, because it's got shorter teeth, and all you gotta do is grind it away anyway. I don't remember how worn out this tool may be. I tend to wear these multi-tools out, and once you wear them out, it's kind of hard to get these blades off. Not too bad yet. Well, I can kind of fit. This is gonna be awkward. I don't think this blade's gonna do it. It went through on that side just fine where I hit it. Over here, not so much. Probably gonna eat through a whole bunch of blades for nothing. Apparently the key is to cut as low to the bottom as possible, because this dry lock and foam coat, it gets way thicker at the top. I would have thought it would thicken up at the bottom edge, but would you believe me, you, the camera, and my trusty multi-tool all fit in a 4x2x2 enclosure? Amazing. I hope you don't have claustrophobia. I'm sweating my butt off. Probably getting a sunburn too. Last piece. Got most of the big chunks of styrofoam out. There's a couple little pieces left in there. I'll try to get most of them out. Probably impossible to get everything out without throwing all the dirt away. And this is probably $150 worth of dirt. So I don't plan on doing that. So now I'm going to add the dirt that I got right now, which is probably not enough. But it's all I got at the moment. So I'm going to make it work. And then I got to get the dirt off me, because I feel disgusting. So this is the cheap soil I got. Leptis soil. I don't really like it. What I got in there right now is Biodude Terra Firma. Probably going to get another bag of that. But for now, I'm going to throw this in there. I'm going to mix it in with that Terra Firma so it gets a little bit more firm, so it doesn't compact too much with her heavy body. I'm going to throw in a bucket of sphagnum moss with it. Check out my new knife. Microtech. Kind of a pain when the bag's taller than you are. Microtech. I might have been wrong. This might be enough dirt. I'm not gonna lie, that makes me happy. I don't have to buy any more dirt. Looks like the perfect amount. And to be honest with you, this Repti soil really doesn't look half bad. I don't know what was up with that last bag I got, but it was so dark and kind of looked like charcoal dust. Alright, now I'm going to mix this in and throw in the sphagnum moss. I got about 10 more compressed dried bricks of this, and each one fills up this whole container. plus a little bit more. That order cost me like 15 bucks. Goes a long way if you buy it from the right place. I use this for the tarantulas inside the water bowl so they don't drown when they get water. More specifically, so the crickets that I feed them don't go immediately off themselves in the water bowl and create another mess for me to clean up. I use it in the bioactive enclosures to mix it in, keep the soil aerated, keep it humid, also to help to keep the isopods alive. And then lastly, I use this in my human hides for my hognose. Western hognose traditionally live in slightly drier climate, but I always provide them a humid hide for them to go in whenever they need to shed out. And a couple of mine seem to prefer the humidity over the drier environment. I can break this up as much as possible, just so it'll spread around easier. So I originally gave Scarlet a really big water bowl because I wanted her to have room to be able to get in it and take a bath. But out of all my snakes, she's the least one interested in getting in water. So I figured now that she's gotten bigger, I may as well give her a little bit smaller bowl. Less to clean, less to refill. Plus, she can have a lot more land mass. I think I'll save the rest of this for the top layer. I'm pretty sure that's enough to mix in for now. Well, I feel a lot better. I didn't take a shower after messing in all that dirt. But before I took a shower, and I didn't turn the camera back on, I got my plants put in. I still got a little bit more to go, especially some fake foliage I'm going to add to some of the bare spots, make it look like it's drooping from the top, like it's coming out of trees. But so far, I think it looks pretty good. I love this tree in the back. I might pull that pothos out just a little bit, space it out a little bit more. I got this one over here. I really don't have a whole lot of room left because I still got to put her and her hollow tube back in there. But I'm going to junk it up enough that she feels like she's deep in the woods. Not that she cares much, because she sleeps out in the open and don't worry about it. But I know she'll appreciate it. I know she'll like it better. Now, as much as I'd love to go ahead and throw her in here, I can't. I need to wait. They tell you to wait at least a month before you put a heavy snake like a ball python in an enclosure of new plants. Now, these are like adult plants. They're pretty big. So she's not going to kill them, but she might uproot them. So, I'm going to give it a couple days, well, a couple weeks, at least 3 weeks. But anyway, yeah, I got to make her wait. I don't want to. I love it. I know she's going to love it. And 1 week later, so it's been about a week. The plant's had a little bit of time to get the roots spread out, but not quite enough. And now that I got some time off of work, I'm going to get back to doing this decor. I know, I got real plants in there, and now I'm adding fake stuff. But it's okay. It's going to look good when it's done. It's going to add some color. Sure, you see these kind of come with a suction cup. And I do have a plexiglass top, so I think it's going to stick. Although, I may add some hot glue to hold it on there, just so her big body doesn't pull it down. Now, a lot of times with these, I actually don't hang them up with one strand. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll cut each branch off, and then I'll hot glue those in certain spots. Now, with this particular one, I think I'm going to leave it together and just spread them out however they look right in there. But with this type, I like to do what I did in Mr. B's enclosure, where I take them all apart, glue them in individual strands, and make it look like a tree just coming out the top. So, we'll see. I found black hot glue sticks. Never seen those before. Gonna blend in perfect with this enclosure. And this type glue stick is a high temperature glue stick, so it's not going to melt at a really low temperature, so it's going to have a stronger bond to whatever you're trying to stick it to. Just remember, I probably need to get this glass bag out to make it easier, because I don't want to have to climb around it. This is really good glass. See how thick it is. I got it custom cut. I was real happy that it turned out the right size the first time, because this stuff's expensive. And it took a couple weeks to get here, and at that point, I was ready to get my girl in her new house. Kind of like I am now. 4 years later, and it's still fitting pretty good. Comes out easy, so I guess my roof hadn't sagged at all. And I put stuff on top of it all the time, so that's exactly why you use half-inch PVC. And if you go back and look at my video on how I built the inside of it, you'll see I kind of supported it a little bit better. I'm going to start with this one because I'm ready to see some color. Start with a pre-bend, so it hangs down at an angle. Now, when this comes in a package, it's all folded over to fit, and it takes a while to get it shaped back to look like a natural branch instead of everything aimed the same direction. So, honestly, every time I'm doing this stuff, I have to just make myself stop because I'll never be happy with the position of the branches. This is the point that I get dirty again. Dang it. Probably shouldn't worry about this, but I just don't feel like dragging a whole bunch more dirt out again. I just had to get some scissors before my haircut. Unfortunately, my light fell up top, so this part of the video is going to be a little washed out until I can get up there and fix it. Unfortunately, I'm too short until I push my stool over here. Anyway, when I first started doing these, and I had to break the scissors out for the first time, I was a little apprehensive. Like, spend $15 or $20 on these, and then you start cutting them up. It's like, do I really want to do that? But remember, when it comes to building these enclosures, it's all custom. Just let the art be free-formed. It'll show you where it wants to go. Now, I'll tell you what I could do. Could take some across the top before I cut it. I don't want to block these plants from getting the real light that they need. So, I'm thinking I might drape one over in the back. But I'll have to cut it off because that's going to be our hiding spot. Oh, no. This might be one with a hard wire inside. Ah, I might have to break out another tool. Oh, no, it broke. Awesome. I did not want to have to break out something to cut wire with. Sometimes you got to do that with these. It's one of those things I'm going to step back and look at a couple times. Alright, alright. We're getting somewhere. A little too much still, but we're getting somewhere. Might end up taking a whole branch out of it. But whatever you cut out, you can hot glue in other places. And that's the really cool part about it. That glue's a little funny. Might be too high for that kind of glue. Yeah. You can see it's runny. The bad part is when it's this runny, it's so easy to stick your finger in it. Like I'm doing right now. So you gotta hold it there until it cools off. Yeah, that was a little hot. Perfect. It's pretty good glue. I mean, it's really stuck. Start of it. Gotta fix that strand in the middle. That don't look right. So I'm gonna pull some to the other side. I'm taking a little bit of a risk here because this mouse has gotten a little bit cold. And I'm in a bit of a hurry and I don't feel like heating it back up. Plus, I don't want to recook it. So I gotta make sure that she knows that the mouse is the food because I'm hotter. I'm the heat signature that she's seeking. See what I mean? Ah, come on. You missed. There you go. Check out this beautiful tricolor I got. You can throw it out really quick. He's a good eater. This is an exotic male I got. This guy doesn't have a name yet either. He wasn't eating very well at all at first, but as of lately, he's been eating pretty good. He won't always eat off the tongs, but as long as he eats, that's all that matters. Man, I love this lift. Come ride with me up here. See my new little boy. Assume a boy. I actually have no idea. It's too small to know. This is the albino rat snake my buddy gave me at the show. And it had regurgitated before the show, so he didn't want to try to sell it. I'm going to see if he'll eat. I'm going to give him a small pinky because after a regurge, it can be a rough start. Try a little picky picky. Good boy. Now let's just hope he keeps it down. But that's a good start. Here's my girl Jules. This is Tyson. Sometimes he eats for me all the time. Sometimes he wants me to leave it in his house. Shoots out like a dart. You want that good boy? Good boy. Sometimes he's entertaining. He always darts out and makes crazy noises and acts like he's gonna bite and he never does. But sometimes he actually eats while I'm watching. Sometimes if they get it partially in their mouth and you let go of it and it hits the ground, falls out their mouth, they won't even attempt the second time. It's like they get their feelings hurt. Maybe they're embarrassed when they dropped it. I think they're just super moody. Not a bad way. Unless that is you're worried about them eating, right? This big girl is Bertha. She's a big old girl. I paired her up with Puffy. So far, I saw a lot, but so far I haven't seen any signs of eggs, so I'm thinking it might not have been successful this time. Yeah, she's looking pretty skinny down there. I'll check that hive later. Make sure there's no eggs in it, but it hadn't been long enough, really. And a couple weeks later, let's get an update on Bertha. No one ever said hognose are smart. Girl, what are you doing? She's really trying to kill it, too. Alright, I'm gonna have to get her off. I think I'm gonna need, like, a container or something. Pretty exciting. This is my first clutch. So when I collected the egg from Bertha, I was a little bit surprised because at that point, I didn't think she was gravid. So I didn't check for like 5 days in her human hide to see if there was any eggs. And then I went to feed her and she came out acting a little bit crazy. Then I figured out why. So as a result, I wasn't real sure how long those eggs had been in there. So I figured if I was lucky and I did collect them on the day she laid them, they'd be hatching by the end of next week. But I just peeked in there and guess what? They're already hatching. Had them covered up so the light wouldn't bother them. I think most of them already hatched. By the way, as usual, my stateroom's a mess, but hey, I'm excited I can finally move Scarlet back in her new house. Let's check out these babies. By the way, I did get this new rack completed, so I'm going to take a bit out of it, slip this one in there. So for now, I'm going to keep it real basic. Keep paper towels in the bottom of it, because I still got a lot of other snakes to move around. Get some out of some smaller bins, so I can get these babies set up in some of those. I'm just going to let them cohab for right now, which is fine to do when they're babies. Anyway, let's check them out. Can you crawl up the wall already, bruh? That's not good, homie. Alright, so, little boy, he's got conda in him, and I'm thinking, Arctic conda? Yep, I think that's a boy. We got this albino. This may be a female. Got this little baby super conda. He's looking real slim. I don't think he ate a lot of his yolk. Here's the albino. Appears to have Arctic in it. So I'm thinking all these are Arctic and not exantic. So this is a conda Arctic albino. And appears to be a female. Look at this one. Super conda. Not sure there's Arctic in it, but I think I see some on the face. So this one, I think that's another female. Here's another albino conda. I think that's a male. So we got 6 albinos. Apparently I thought I was recording when I wasn't. Anyway, I went ahead and put everybody back in here. so I can separate them one by one. Anyway, I got the 6 Arctic condas separated, but one of them's a super conda. I don't think I have any normals in there. Actually, there might be one wild type. I got one that keeps trying to escape. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the albinos. Kinda sucks I wasn't recording because I was getting their vents, trying to see which ones are male and female. Might be easier if I could zoom in. And here's the first one. And this one, I believe, is a male. I don't see much of a taper. It's kind of a longer tail. The next one. This one is a conda, albino, and also possibly Arctic. Yes, definitely looks like a female. And this one is also Arctic albino conda. I believe that's a female. Yep. Female Arctic albino conda. I just see as the Arctic comes out. I think they're Arctic. Last but not least is this beautiful super conda, albino, and possibly Arctic. And that is definitely a female. I can tell by the tail. Tell by the top of the tail this one was a female. Definitely. Female super conda, Arctic albino. She acts like she wants to eat my fingers. And there they all are. All 12 of them. I'm going to let them shed out their first shed or two. I'll be able to tell more about them. Hopefully I can get them all eaten. That's going to be the real struggle. Alright guys, it's the next day, and since I got the baby set up, I guess I can move Scarlet into her new house. Man, this girl makes this tube heavy. I can't believe she can still fit in it. She's probably like 4 foot, fitting in a 2-foot tube. Cleaned out her water bowl, because there was some plant residue in it. And, now I gotta figure out where her tube's gonna fit, without squishing the plants. Well, she didn't wake up the whole time I moved her, but she'll wake up in a little while in her brand new decorated enclosure. I was going to go back and touch up this black paint. Never got around to it. But it is what it is. Enclosure looks good inside. That's all she cares about. She doesn't care about this track. Well, that's it. About a month and a half long project. For various reasons, as you can see by the video. But there's actually a lot more to it than that. It's been a wild ride lately. Of course, work taking a lot of time, so haven't really been making my own videos. The grandparents are getting older. Had some medical issues. We had to move them to assisted living. Last week was probably one of the hardest weeks of my life. My best friend, my pack leader, my boy Happy, he crossed Rainbow Bridge. It was not fun. I probably put together a tribute of all of his great times. He was an amazing dog. Helped me raise and rehab a lot of animals. Not only is he the most intelligent dog I've ever had in my life, but he was the most gentle by nature. I never had to worry about him biting an animal or a person. He would headbutt him if he got frustrated. He wasn't about to bite anybody. Great dog. I know I'll get another one, but I don't know when. I gotta keep his memory fresh in my head for a little bit longer, you know what I mean? If you're wondering why this video's been all over the place, well, there's been a lot going on. I'm gonna let her enjoy her enclosure, and I gotta feed some animals so I can get back to work tomorrow. But for those that watch this video after such a long hiatus, I appreciate you. And until I have time to put out the next one, y'all have a good one. Look at all the little baby noodles.